Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this video I will demonstrate how big of a difference can an impulse response make to your guitar sound. So, yes, indeed, modern technology, impulse responses and stuff. So, briefly, what is an impulse response? Many of you probably know, but those who don't, it's an kind of like image of a cabinet, guitar cabinet, the speaker, and what microphones were used miking that speaker. So basically you send an impulse through, I don't know the technology, but like kind of like sine wave or something via some people use like tube amps. I guess most people do these with really like transparent power amps that doesn't color the sound. So they send the impulse to the speaker, and then there's microphones picking up that, and that's kind of like your blueprint of the cabinet and speakers and microphones being used to create that impulse response. So it's really handy. Like I'm at my home studio now. I have a old Marshall JSM 800 203 from 1985. It's like master is at 2, so it's really damn loud. Or it would be if I had a real cabinet here. But what's going on is the signal goes into this SIR reactive load, which is a load box. So you can connect the amplifier there. You don't have to have a cabinet because tube amps needs load. If you connect it without, it will break. And then it's also an impulse response loader. So it comes with SIR's own IRs, but you can load your third-party IRs, or your maybe someone you have made by yourself to this device. And then you can record easily. There's a direct out too, so you can record only the amps sound without like a cabinet, without impulse response, without a mic cabinet. But that sounds like shit. But then you can afterwards, when you're mixing, you can change the IRs, because IR changes the sound actually surprisingly a lot. So let me demonstrate. Now I have one of my all-time favorite IRs. It's a Marshall 1960 B cabinet, 4x12 cabinet, loaded with vintage 30s. This is Ownhammer's IR. According to the website, the cabinet is what was used is from 1971, and the speakers, the vintage 30s, are the original V30s from 91. This was a mix called Forward, and it's Forward 1. I made a cheat sheet to myself. So there was different kind of mixes of that cabinet. I don't know what microphones were being used, but the usual ones, SM57, Royer 121, MD 421, those. I don't know what specific microphones this IR, what they used, but I really like how it sounds, and it sounds like this. Okay, so I'm not gonna touch anything. I have a super overdrive on. That's the only thing. ISB decimator, and let's. I'm gonna scroll through the IRs, so you hear. Yeah. So those last 6, they were all from the same cabinet, Marshall Mode 4, 4x12, and the first one, it has a V30s and with the T75 speakers. The second was the same, but the 75 was the dominant one. Then there was 2 IRs with just V30s, a little bit different, and another one had a little bit more low end. Then there was again same cabinet, but a EVH speaker also with the V30s and mix of those. So those 5 IRs was all from the same cabinet. And then let's go to the Marshall 9060B, which I played first. So I have 3 IRs here: forward, modern, and scoop. This is the forward, then modern, then scoop. That's my, these 2 cabinets are the ones that I use most. The Mode 4 cabinet and just the standard cabinet. And with V30s only, or with like G75 or EVH or Greenback thrown in the mix. Okay, then okay, now you may ask, well, those weren't that different. But now I have here also a Mesa Boogie oversized with V30s, Diesel, Friedman, and Bugner. And well, let me demonstrate. This is the one that I kind of probably use mostly, your standard Marshall. That's Mesa oversized with V30s. Back to the Marshall. Then let's take something totally different. Bugner Uber cab, which is really a huge low end. Marshall. Mesa. Diesel. Bugner. That's huge. It's really fun to play alone, but it's a little bit too to be used in a mix, at least to me. And then what else? Friedman vintage with a V30s and greenbacks. Diesel with V30s. Mesa with V30s. So, and back to the classic Marshall. So, as you heard, you can get, just by chasing the IR, you can get old Marshall to sound, well, I think with Marshall cab, it sounds your Marshall sound. But then when you, let's say, use the Diesel or Mesa, classic cabinets used in modern metal, I've used Mesa's V30 cabinet, actually in both Cyrus albums. It has really tight, aggressive, kind of modern tone. So and Friedman is quite aggressive too. Even it's like vintage style, but it's still that kind of high stuff. And the Uber cab is just huge. So yeah. So when you're, let's say, if you're not happy with your sound, there's something that bothers you. It might be just the cabinet or the impulse response. But I remember when I got this Fryette fat bottom cabinet. That's the only one I have. I had that like 15 years. But before that, I had a bunch of cabinets, different Marshalls with V30s, T75s, greenbacks, crank, PV, EVH, and whatnot. But some of them sounded good on some amps, and some didn't. And this Fryette, it's I still haven't found an amp that it doesn't sound good with. So that's a really cool cabinet. So and even if you have and the speakers, they make a huge difference too. Because I mean, if you have, like, let's say V30s in a Marshall cabinet. Well, these are actually, yeah. Let's take the Marshall cabinet. Let's take a scoop sound because it's quite a bit more metal. Okay, V30 is in a Marshall cabinet. Then V30 is in a Mesa cabinet. Obviously, I'm not sure, because there's different kind of V30s, what mics were used, but just to make an example, that a cabinet and the speakers, they make a huge difference. If the cabinet is good and the speakers are, let's say, bad or wrong to you, then, you know, you might not need to change the cabinet, but just the speakers. But if like I played with bad cabinets, like really boomy, not well made, no matter what speakers you put it into, they sound like shite. But you know, all the big known brands, they make really good cabinets. They have a kind of character. I mean, Mesa cabinets are known for being really tight, and that's why they're used so much in modern metal. And Marshalls, on the other hand, has maybe a little bit of that middle, airy hunky, vintage style thing going on, and so on. So nowadays, when you have the IRs and these devices, it's really cool because you can try out different things. So I mean, I have one amp and I could get anything from you know, more rock, more metal, you know, smooth, or then really aggressive, in your face, really tight low end, or then like with the Wagner Uber got like huge. That could be. Could imagine, you know, playing some stoner rock or something with was like, it's really. So yeah. So whether you're using real amp or plugins, so the impulse responses, or cabinet and speakers, they make they make a big difference. And what I usually do is when I record here stuff on albums and so on, I either I recorded just a DI out and then choose the cabinet to suit the vibe of the song or the mix or whatever, or then I just play along with it, record a little pieces, and then just choose an IR here what I use. And some IRs like let's say this Sir PT 2x12 with Celestion cream backs. It sounds quite thin with distortion. But with clean sounds. It's really good compared to, let's say, Marshall Mode 4. So, if I want to have a 2x12 sound, I don't need to change the amp, I just change the impulse response. Well, hey, just checking how long I've been talking. Hopefully you found this informative, and I know this impulse response thing could be a black hole where you get lost, but it's really cool thing. I mean, there's a lot of brands that make those. I've tried quite a bunch of them, and I like. I have two favorites. I really like Ownhammer's IRs, and then I like ML Sound Labs IRs a lot. I have both companies' IRs here. They are, because most of the cabinets that I have and the IRs because I've played professionally in 20 years. I played a bunch of gear, a bunch of cabinets. Those two companies, they sound really close, and they use time and money and effort to capture these cabinets, like in really good studios with room mics, with really good microphones and everything, and they specifically, track down cabinets. I've actually contacted ML Sound Lab. We might make an impulse response collection of my Fryet. Nothing has been settled yet, but we'll see, because I haven't found a good IR of this cab, which is my favorite cab, or one of my favorites. So I'll put links to Ownhammer's site and ML Sound Lab's site, because those I use and I can recommend. I'm sure there's lots of other stuff, good stuff too. But yeah, and where to start? I mean, if you have a sound in mind that you like, maybe on some album, just try to Google what gear was used, and then maybe have something similar. Like if I want to have a No More Tears sound, I think Zach used Marshall with V30s in there, and I just have a Marshall, vintage Marshall with V30s, Marshall JZ800 and Super Overdrive, and there you go. Only thing was missing was chorus. Okay, yeah, hey. Now, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Euge out, finally.